It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Welcome to another episode of Wednesday Toast, a podcast about comic book stuff where we talk about all kinds of comic book related stuff. My name is Lex, also known as Wednesday Poll, and I'm here with the co-host with the most toast, Simon Toast. How are you doing, buddy? That's like your official title now.
That was a lot. I was trying to think of anything that
the co-host with the most toast, Simon Toast.
I was trying to think of anything that would rhyme with that. But you did rhyme toast with toast, so that's like a no.
Co-host with the most toast, and then Simon Toast just happened to be.
Right.
There's like a breath in between that, so it kind of
it's its own beat.
Brushes the rhyme.
It's the downbeat.
Yeah. You gotta change your name.
I guess so. Back to the Simeon Toast. Oh shit! I gotta tell you this. Okay, so I told you my mother-in-law a second ago. She sent me some goofy ass shit. She also,
if you want to know what he's talking about, you have to sign up for a Patreon and watch the uncut episode.
She, you know how they used to have like those stupid Dateline things, like what are your kids saying online? What do these acronyms mean? And
razor blades in the Halloween candy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but they're all made up. Like LOL means live.
Oh yeah.
Living on Lubriderm or whatever. Like she said, what is a toaster? I just read somewhere that somebody tweeted something about a toaster.
This is gonna be good.
She asked Nicole that, and Nicole's like, I don't know. Maybe this person needs to stay away from a toaster. And she goes, I just looked it up. It means a lesbian that turned a straight woman gay.
That's fucking.
I was like, I don't know if that's even true, because I feel like it's not, but I'm using that.
That's cool. So if you are there's no politically correct way to promote that. But if you want to create a Reddit group of the Wednesday Toasters, a group of lesbians that turn women into lesbians that also listen to the Wednesday Toast, we will fully support you.
The politically correct way to say that isn't that they turn women into lesbians, because those women are lesbians. They help these women discover that they are lesbians.
And I want to, for the record, I don't think that. I'm just going off of the definition that Simon's friend, mother-in-law has given us.
My MIL. That was, anyways.
But we will support you.
100%.
You have our official blessing.
Yeah, I don't love people that like ruin household. What's the name? Like that ruin marriages.
Homewreckers.
Yeah, I don't love homewreckers. I don't love any of that. But if you're just out here doing your thing and other people are into that, great, man. You do that, and I'm gonna call you a toaster because that's funny as fuck.
I'm gonna call you Wednesday Toaster.
Yeah,
so we can brand it for our brand.
Wednesday Toaster. For the brand.
If you don't know, Simon and I are very conscious of our brand. Again, I apologize. There are actual. It's weird to say, and with our old show, Simon and I try to be very like critic, professional type things. And this one, you're kind of keeping it a little loose. And it's weird for me to say, people actually listen to this show. But we get more feedback on this show than we did on our old show. So, and I try to be conscious of like saying weird things.
Yeah.
But then I also think like,
I think that's what people are here for.
We've been saying weird things. So people like the weird stuff and like it's authentic. So maybe
I think that's what they're here for, man. They want to hear the weird shit.
Weird shit.
As Pat.
Well, again, welcome to the show, man. Wednesday Toast.
Yeah.
We talk about comic book stuff. We like comic book stuff. And if you like comic book stuff, which you probably do because you're here, you're in the right place.
Or if you just like us, you're also in the right place.
You could just like us. Simon is a toy photographer. Very good. Criminally underrated, in my opinion. And I'm biased because he's my heterosexual life partner. But I am just a guy on the internet that likes talking about comic book stuff. So
that's what we're here for.
There you have it. See you guys next time.
Bye.
On this week's episode of the podcast, Simon and I are going to play a game called Would You Rather. Now, usually, if you are familiar with the game, it's like gross stuff that you play at a drunken party with chicks for everybody to say weird stuff to kind of break the ice. We're going to obviously make it comic book related because this is a comic book podcast. Are you okay with that, Simon?
Dead air.
I need to get you. Yeah. We'll cut that.
Yeah. Dead air.
I was actually like catching my breath while I was going on to the next sentence.
Just real quick interruption. I listen to this podcast more than I ever listened to the old one because I started to get bored. And listening, I always love talking to you. But anyway, I laughed when we both took a drink at the same time. In the last episode that not the one that I put up, but the one before that, when we both took a drink at the same time, and I was like, I'm leaving that in there. That's real life. I don't know why. I thought it was funny the second time I heard it.
So would you rather comic book edition? We're going to trade off. I have 3 questions. Simon has 3 questions. I don't know. I do know what one of Simon's questions is, but I didn't look at the other one. I'm going to kick things off. We're going to talk about it, and then we're going to move on. They may be sidebar, very long conversations. You know how we do. Or they could be pretty quick because they're ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, starting things off. Question number 1. If you had the choice, would you pick between, or would you want Superman's powers or all of Batman's wealth? So, I mean Batman's wealth as in like you have the Batcave and satellites and all kinds of like whatever gadget you could need to survive in space forever and hang out with the Justice League.
Yes.
Wealth.
Seemingly like infinitesimal.
Yeah, not what he claims on his taxes. I mean, like his real wealth, right. Infinite money, essentially.
Yeah. So, yeah, who goes first, me or you?
I'll let you answer. Since I asked, that's how we'll do it. Whoever asks the question will go second. So you'll answer it, and then I'll give my answer.
So I think that's always a difficult, like flash in the pan. Everybody's going to say Superman's powers. I feel like no matter what, everyone would say Superman powers. But you kind of run into like Spider-Man territory or other characters. You're like, yeah, but how do I live? Right. And still be
and that's how I like to look at a lot of these questions.
Yeah. And still be a hero. Right. Because you could be Superman and just steal shit all day.
Yeah.
I mean, you could,
or just take over the world. You could take over the world.
Yeah. I mean, you could theoretically steal all of Batman's riches a little bit. He probably wouldn't notice it was gone.
Yeah. Right, because he has infinite money.
Yeah. In all that explanation, I still would go Superman's powers because I'd be completely happy doing what I'm doing right now and being able to like fucking fly around in space. So
yeah.
Or less.
I want to give an opposite. So I want to give an opposite answer, right? And I agree with you. People answer these questions in the realm of like, oh, I'm Superman. I'll just rob banks.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the thing. I'll just take all the money I want. I don't like to look at these questions like that. I think there were some questions that I posted online that were like, would you want to have Spider-Man's powers or something like that? Or have $1 million, $100 million? I'm like, oh, I'm going to take $100 million because me personally with Spider-Man's powers, I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah. Also,
like I'm a lazy dude. So I'm going to just like be at home.
Yeah.
And like my life barely changes.
In that scenario, I would not be a good person. I can tell you that.
Yeah. Right. And so in this, I think, I don't think I would be a hero. I'm just being realistic. I don't think I would be, maybe, you know, if it happens and, you know, in my direct line of sight, of course I'll do the right thing. I think. I don't think I would be Superman though. But having Bruce Wayne's wealth, I break it down to a few things. Traffic and health.
Yeah.
Right. These are the deciding factors for me. So I can be Bruce Wayne, gazillionaire, not worry about a thing, which that's a big factor of it. Like bills, like that's 1 point into the Bruce Wayne bucket.
Uh-huh.
But I could get in a car accident.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I could get kicked by a horse and be in a wheelchair for years. You know,
Superman.
Like the other Superman.
Or just have a stroke because that happens.
Yeah, I could be out. and the money doesn't mean anything. But I could get in a car accident with Superman, and I'm the one I'm good.
Yeah, because if you're Batman, like an all good Batman, if there were a cure for cancer, like he would be giving that shit away for free, right? So you
Yeah.
could still get
Yeah.
cancer. You could still get a
You
blood
can still
clot.
get cancer. You can still have a brain tumor. You could still get struck by lightning. Like all of these
Yeah,
scenarios
perching on a
are
gargoyle.
true.
That's an easy way to get struck by
Right?
lightning.
If I'm Superman, though, that clean bill of health, usually, unless I stumble upon some kryptonite, I'm usually good.
Mhm.
And then traffic. I hate being stuck in traffic. Like I know I live in the worst city to be in, like complaining about traffic, but I hate it. If I'm Superman, I'm not driving nowhere. I'm not paying for car insurance. I'm not paying for any of the gas, traffic, none of that stuff because I'm flying everywhere. I'm putting on a helmet, motorcycle helmet, to get rid of the bugs flying in my mouth, and I'm flying everywhere. And if my family doesn't want to fly, I'll get like a patio and I'll strap in and I will fly.
You just get a trailer
because I'm also super. Or I got old beat up car that doesn't work. I'll just lift it up and fly them everywhere.
See, I have a problem with that though, and I've always thought this, especially with like, so we've talked about this with like, they did it on The Boys, which I thought was pretty interesting. Like how you couldn't lift a plane as a person because like the laws of physics wouldn't work.
Yeah.
So you would have to build something structurally sound to work from like holding from one point.
Yeah, that's true.
Or you could just get a
I would
bunch of
just-
like harnesses because you're super strong.
Yeah, we just all strap each other together.
Yeah.
And just like multiple backpacks, I'd fly.
Yeah.
And we'd be good. Or they could have a car. I'll go over with myself. They're fine.
Yeah.
They get in a car accident, it's fine. I'm okay.
Can you imagine how bored you would be just like floating next to the car? But like,
yeah. Hey, you guys go. It's a 5-hour trip. I will leave in 15 minutes before you guys get there.
yeah, I'll be listening to see if anything bad is about to happen to you. But otherwise, I'm gonna be playing.
Call me when you're pulling up. I'll zoom over there. So yeah, I'm going with Superman just for the very simple reasons of I hate sitting in traffic and I hate getting sick.
Convenience, yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, like, I live a pretty good life right now as a poor person.
Jeez.
So I'm saying, as a poor person, I don't have a lot of complaints. Could money save a lot of like grief and yeah, for sure. But if I could like not get sick ever, I'll probably take that more than being rich.
Yeah. Same.
That's just
I can imagine being that.
All right, son.
I just couldn't imagine it.
I couldn't. I think I would be stressed out if I had that much money.
You're like, what do I spend it on?
Jump off a bridge.
I'm just gonna spend it on.
Jump off a bridge, then I'd be dead because I wasn't super.
Can you imagine not having to be discerning about things that you bought?
No.
Like you'd walk in a store and be like, I guess I'm just gonna buy all that shit.
I buy the store.
Yeah, it would be overwhelming. Too much.
It would be overwhelming. I would just have too much stuff. I wouldn't care about anything, and I think it leads into another problem.
Yeah, what do they call it? That guy that like hit those people with a car. They call it affluenza. That's the rich disease of not giving a shit because you have so much money.
Yeah, no, I don't want that.
So, yeah,
I just don't want to be sick.
No, I'd rather. Yeah, I don't want influenza or affluenza.
Yeah, no brain tumors, no any. Just let me be super healthy, live longer than everyone. I know that's a thing. It's like, well, you live longer, and all the people that you love die. I'm like, I don't care.
Well, I don't know. Is that immortality or just having Superman?
Well, Superman ages slower because of his powers, which is fine. I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't have very emotional attachments to the people around me.
Yeah.
I like you guys now, but I don't know if I like you guys for 100 years. You know?
Shit.
You're up, son.
All right, so this is kind of on the same realm of, I don't know. Never mind. Anyway, so I was thinking about like DC, like Hour Man, right? And Hour Man, for my understanding, he can have any power for that hour, right? Is that the idea? Maybe we don't have to get into logistics, but
well, he has like, it's like he becomes Captain America essentially for an hour.
Okay. So my idea is like, would you rather be able to have any selection for 1 hour? 1 hour you could pick super speed, telepathy
every day,
or you have like a set of powers for, I said one power for a lifetime, but like a set. So like Superman, like invulnerability, flight, shit like that. Would you rather have that specific set? And we're not talking about comic Superman where he gets a new power, like early Superman, where he's like, oh, I can shoot little minis out of my hand. No, I mean like his specific set. Or
Yeah, he's strong. He can fly. He's got laser. Like, yeah.
Tomorrow you could try out something completely different. You're like, yeah, tomorrow I think I'm gonna be stretchy. You know?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm a huge comic book nerd. You guys have
really
gotten
is that
to
what
this episode, you know.
Is that what this show's about?
I'm going 1 hour a day for the reason of like I would want to try out everything, right? So in my head, I'm like, I can have the ability to be like the Hulk and get pissed off and turn angry, but after an hour, it's fine because I go, it goes away. Or I can have like a really grotesque power where I look like a monster, but then after an hour, it goes away. It's fine. And coupled with, again, this is going to be an ongoing thing in this thread. I am extremely lazy, right? So an hour is about all I'm going to be interested in using power.
It's not an hour.
I can get a lot done.
Yeah, it's not an hour cumulatively though. Like you can like an hour if you only use it for 5 minutes for that hour. It's still only an hour.
Once a day.
Yeah.
But it's once a day.
Right. I'm not saying like, well, I'm going to use 5 minutes of super speed here and I'll use 5 minutes of super speed there.
That'd be too much for me. That'd be too much. 1 hour. I'm good. Could I pick or is it random?
In my question, it's you can pick.
Easy. 1 hour a day.
I don't know. Are you done?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Have you completed your answer? Are you done?
I have reached completion. Yeah.
I thought about that. And when I wrote that out, I definitely was thinking an hour. But now that I've thought about it more, I would have to do like a set or the one power just because I would hate to be at the end of that hour and lose it. You know, like imagine being able to super speed for an hour and then an hour later you're like, fuck, I really wish I had that super speed right now.
You'd be like really hooked on it. Yeah. Or you use super speed and you're like not paying attention to time and you travel to Egypt and then it's like your time runs out. It's like, yeah, that would suck. I'm too lazy to run. I don't give a shit about running to Egypt.
Yeah. Well, also, can you?
All mine would be like hyper intelligence, like stock market, like 15 minutes. I'm good.
Can you imagine running and being mid stride and running out of time? Just like,
yeah, that would suck.
Also, you have to think of the logistics of like costuming and stuff. You know, they always talk about the Flash having a specific costume because otherwise his clothes would just burn off of him.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I wouldn't be a hero. I would just be a dude. And a lot of my stuff, it would just be out like, I probably wouldn't tell anybody. I would just be like, hey, talking to my wife, I'd be like, hey, I'm going to go out to the, junkyard for an hour. And then I would be stretchy and I would punch stuff for an hour. I would like lift stuff up it would just be me. It'd be personal time.
It'd be like video games.
Yeah, it would be therapy. Me just like, people go and they smash stuff in junkyards. It would be the equivalent of that, but I have superpowers.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, that's me.
Really nice.
I'm really lazy, man. And I don't want the responsibility of being a superhero.
Yeah.
I love superheroes. I respect them.
Yeah, I just want to.
I know me.
Yeah, I want to read about them. I can tell you.
Yeah, I want to run around in circles super, super fast. Create a couple tornadoes just in a field.
Yeah.
And then go home. Be like, man, that was badass.
I can tell you that I have enough temptation in my life now as a normal person that if I had any superpowers at all, like I would not be a good person with those superpowers.
Yeah. And you could pick them.
I have
random. I think random would also. I think I would still pick it if it was random.
Yeah. Well,
as long as I got to pick.
But what if you didn't know what it was?
I think I would still pick it if I could pick the time that it happened.
Yeah,
But if it was like completely random time, random power, no, I'm going with the constant.
You wouldn't want super strength like right in the middle of sexy times.
Yeah, right. Or I wouldn't want like Human Torch powers while I'm taking a crap. Like just like I'm in the middle of taking a crap in my whole body and my crap sets on fire. I just wouldn't want that.
would you be able to control it? That's my thing. It's like, how quickly would you just know? Like that, I guess
That's a good question too.
would you,
Because I would think you would have to have, in my head, I'm thinking you need like
yeah,
and this is me being very cocky. I need like a 15-minute, let's figure this out.
yeah, 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 yeah. That's kind of what I'm
So it gives me
thinking.
45 minutes to dick around.
Like, you're like, oh, it's time. Let's see.
Yeah.
And so shoot at me and see if I'm invulnerable. Nope.
We'll see if I can fly. Yeah, yeah. I still up in if unless it's random time, random power, I'm going an hour is it.
Mhm.
And you're going constant power. Question number 3. Would you rather have the Human Torch's power of controlling fire or Iceman's power of controlling ice? Talk about it.
That's easy for me, man. Ice.
Lay it on me.
Iceman. Because I want to be.
Would you rather doesn't work for you and I because we're like the last question was good. Your question was good because we were different, but we're so much alike that I think we're going to agree on a lot.
Well, I think about so I was thinking like not just like I can go around the city and I'm cool because I'm ice or whatever, but I'm like, man, imagine how
Yeah.
good that would be for the environment if you could just drop icebergs and like shoot icebergs out of your hand to cool off the ocean.
Wow, that's where we differ. Our answers may be the same, but for me, it's purely ice because I hate being hot
Oh yeah.
and I get hot really easily. So I wouldn't want to be more hot.
You could change the environment even more. Like just put ice cubes in the
Yeah.
ocean until everything's too cold.
So, well, my thing is like, it just seems way more practical to be Iceman.
Mhm.
I like my drinks colder. I mean, like, if I'm going back to the whole lazy thing that I've been doing with every question, I don't have to worry about putting ice in my drinks. I just cool my drinks off. I don't have to. We live in Texas,
Yeah.
which has these insane summers
Yeah, it's the worst.
where the electric bill's like $400, right? I don't even need to run my AC. I can just be in the house and just freeze everybody. Not freeze everybody, like everybody chill.
Yeah. Chill.
But I can make it comfortable for everyone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I can probably do it for the whole block if I can control it like Iceman. It's cool to fly. And fire's cool to like be a dickhead. Like I set that on fire. Like that's cool.
Yeah.
But it's way more practical to be Iceman.
It would also be funny to like take ice shits and like throw them at people.
Yeah, because Iceman it's not all like ice cubes. Early Iceman was like a snowman with boots. So you could like take a snowy poop, chunk it at somebody,
That would be
and it'd
funny.
be funny. I think Iceman, there's no world where I think Human Torch would be a better answer.
Nah. Yeah. I don't like to grill, so like even those.
No. Yeah, I mean, like I guess it makes sense in the same way of like in the wind. If I lived in like Alaska, I would be Human Torch. That makes sense.
No, but then
right?
you'd be comfortable in the cold, so you win.
Then I would just be Snowman Man, and I would be like, I would feel fine.
The only time, so let me ask you this about the logistics of Iceman. Like, if you're in a desert, can you still be Iceman, or does he rely on?
Ooh, that's a
the
good question.
Water molecules,
the moisture.
Yeah.
That's a good question. And I'm going to defer that to anyone listening to let us know. I never thought about that. And I pride myself on someone that thinks about really obscure things.
Wasn't that in something? I feel like that, or like water or something. They're like, there's not enough water in the air. I don't. What is that on?
Like Avatar. That's Avatar.
Maybe. I feel like there was something else though.
She gets trapped. They get trapped, and she can't waterbend, but she starts running, and she uses her sweat. I only say that because I just watched that.
I've never watched Avatar enough to have seen that though.
What?
Like Avatar is great, but I just can't. It's like One Piece. Like I'm like
Show's over.
I'm like
Show's over.
the property looks cool, but I'm not going to sit here and watch the whole thing.
Now, this is one of those things, ladies and gentlemen, that Simon will not watch. But then when he watches it, he's like, yeah, that's good. For years, and I have audio recordings of telling Simon that the best Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was 2012. And Simon's like, yeah, I put it on sometimes in the background. Simon watched it
I watch it when I work out.
and he enjoys it.
So after I watch Full Metal Alchemist again, I'll watch Avatar.
Brotherhood or the old one?
Brotherhood.
Brotherhood.
Yeah.
The only way to do it. That was a test. You passed.
I watched Dragon Ball Z all the way up to the end of the Frieza saga, and then I moved to something else.
That's what I like to watch when I work out.
That was all I needed. Just the Frieza.
It gets me going.
Yeah. Seeing all those sweaty buff men.
Sweaty bowling shoulder guys.
Yeah. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I know.
It is
the vapors.
It is something else. It is something else. So it's not Avatar. It's I don't remember what it is, but there's something where he can control. I wish we had an email address that we could send to, because somebody knows.
We have an email address. It is askwednesdaytoast@gmail.com. I created it specifically because someone was like, "Hey, I want to send you some stuff."
Yeah.
But you guys don't have an email address. And so I created.
Do you actually check this one?
I do not check it, but I will now, and I will send Simon the log information. So there's 2 people that can check it.
So if you know the answer to what I'm talking about, it's somebody that's trying to get moisture from the air. There's not enough moisture in the air.
Or post it on. You can also post it on social media and tag both of us because
do that.
I would love that. That's a good caveat. That's a good caveat. There is still moisture in Texas though, so I think we would be good.
Well, especially where
I live in Austin. Yeah, I was gonna say I live in Austin, so there's like tons of bodies of water, so I could just move next to one of those, and I'm good forever. There's no instance where I think fire wins. And if you at home are listening and you're like, "Oh, I'd pick Human Torch," I would love to know why.
Well,
the only reason why I would think was why is if you would want to be a fire-related superhero.
The reason I brought up the desert thing is because my only reasoning for wanting to be the Human Torch is if I was stuck on a deserted island, because you could still make fire, but it would be like cooking shit.
It sounds miserable.
You could like cooking stuff. Yeah. But that's like it. That's the only thing I can see. Maybe being able to fly.
Cook food frozen.
But
flying's cool.
But you could also make a slide.
That's never my. There's an age-old question. It's like if you could pick one superpower, what would it be? And a lot of people pick flying. Flying is never.
No, it's probably the lowest on my list.
Flying is never mine because the logistics of like being able to fly is gross to me. Because when you're flying, there's like bugs and birds, and you have to
It gets cold, there's so much oxygen. How far are you flying?
There's so much. Yeah, exactly. There's so many things to like. You have to think about.
People just
to be able to like fly.
People are just like you. They just hate traffic, so that's why they say flying. So it's like because I could get from there to there.
Yeah, but yeah.
What if you could only fly like Booger Man, like the game on Sega where you farted?
Where you're just like, that would be cool. Sidebar: 1 power. What would it be, Sam?
What do we ask? 1 power of all time.
If you could pick 1 power, what would it be? Just the side.
1 power that's like again. There's all things here, right? So like
it's not like Superman,
right?
It's like you pick one of
how logistical powers. Because like my number 1, if possible, because it would destroy all the laws of physics, would be to stop time. Second would be telekinesis.
Yeah, that's OP. That's a good one.
Telekinesis would be because you could fly with telekinesis. You could also move shit with your mind if you were extra lazy.
So that's OP. Those are 2 OP ones, man. I like you. I like the way you think. I don't think like that. Mine too, because if I had a set of powers, it would be, I would classify it as ghost powers, right?
So like if
that would be my
ephemeral.
That would be my power set. So if I could pick one, it would be like intangibility, like Shadowcat, Kitty Pryde, or turning invisible.
Yeah,
those would be my 2 because I would get a lot done turning invisible.
I feel like I could
just turning invisible. I would get a lot. I'm not the best person in the world. I'm okay. I will admit that, man. If tomorrow I woke up with the power to turn invisible, let's just say my life would be a lot better off. Going from then on. They'd be like, damn, how'd Lex turn his life around? Don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Well, that's also stopping time. That's kind of my thing too. I would
Yeah.
take a bunch of shit.
I wouldn't do anything, and I'm going to caveat this by saying I wouldn't do anything illegal to harm other
Right,
people.
right. Yeah.
It would be like a stick it to the man.
Yeah. I'm not out here hurting any individuals, but I'm definitely stealing all my
Not
groceries.
a villain. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, exactly. I'm invisible. Damn, did you see that cart roll out by itself?
Yeah. Just rolled up to that car.
Excuse me, Mr. Rovers. That basket of groceries rolled all the way to your house. Could you explain this? I don't know, but it's here. Are you gonna take it back?
Yeah.
Because if not, let's just leave it.
Yeah,
alone.
that's kind of my thing with stopping time. It's like I feel like it could get icky and people would be icky about it, but I'm like, no, man, I just want to like take shit. That
stopping time is too much for me. I don't trust myself with things like that. I don't trust myself with turning invisible either. That's why I think.
Do you have to take your clothes off? Is it like a Cal Mitchell
that's a good
type thing?
That's a good one. Because if you do have to take your clothes off, I would be way more reserved with it. because I have too much anxiety to be like, one day my powers are going to stop and I'm going to be butt naked in the middle of like.
Well, you know what I'm talking about. Mystery Man, Cal Mitchell is like invisible.
Yeah.
But you can't look at him.
Yeah. This is a good sidebar. I think this is a separate episode where we talk about what powers we would pick.
I don't know.
If you want to listen to that, we'll do a future episode on that. And question number 4 is Simon's, and now I'm reading it. This is good.
All right. So question number 4. And we started talking about X-Men 97. If you didn't hear that, then subscribe to the Patreon because you'll have an opportunity to watch like the live show or basically the uncut show.
And it ended up being like 40 minutes, like a whole 40-minute show before this.
Yeah. The Patreon show is Jewish. It is uncut. Anyway, so would you rather, and would you be more apt to have sex with Plastic Man or Morph?
Yeah. And for you sexually frustrated listeners out there, you have to choose one. This is a Saw situation. Only for the sexually frustrated. Everyone else, it's like we're having a good time, we're partying. But for you people that listen to this episode for some reason that are like, I'm not doing that. Those are guys. You're in a sausage. You are specifically in a sausage situation. Everyone else is fine.
Yeah, but it's still
having a good time.
It's a consensual situation. Like they're not going to do anything to you, but
they're not forcing themselves.
But you do have to choose.
There's no assault.
Yeah,
there's no assault. They're very nice.
And it's also not assault on them. They're like, either one is cool, whatever.
Yeah. This is very all consensual. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
There's no way. It's all consensual.
Oh my God.
You asked the question, so I have to answer. I love Plastic Man.
Mm-hmm.
I do. But when I'm going with Morph. Morph is my clear answer. Don't even have to think twice about it. When I think about Plastic Man is like a Master Roshi kind of character, right? While he can transform on like the craziest level, like a molecular level to anything, he is crazy overpowered. People don't even realize how overpowered Plastic Man is. He's one of the strongest members of the Justice League at the time. Crazy powerful. But I just think of things like Big Barda on the red carpet and him pretending to be her dress. He's just like a pervy dude.
Yeah.
So I feel like him and I in the situation, while consensual, it would just be like neither one of us want this, man.
Well, I feel like he would be,
and he always like keeps his face too in those situations. So it's like he would turn into a hot babe, but it would still be weird Conan O'Brien head.
That was
Plastic Man.
Yeah, that's part of my reason. And
I don't have a problem if that's your style, but like for me, I don't know if I could get it done. Morph is a gray blob that changes into whatever.
Yeah.
On like a molecular level. Non-binary. So in that party, I think they're more apt to be a good time.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Trying to say that in like the most PC and respectful way.
It'd be more enjoyable for the things that you like.
Yeah, my cup of tea.
Yeah. So I also picked Morph, and for a lot of the same reasons. So one, the face, like, even if I don't know, for my sexual orientation, even if his face was more feminine, it still looks like Plastic Man. Like it's like, you know,
So like the Plastic Man chin and the swirly
Yeah.
hair, you would still be like, this is Plastic Man.
right. Yeah.
Even if Morph didn't change their face, like it was bald, gray Krillin face, that's more not acceptable. That's easier for me to like
Yeah.
register as my cup of tea than I just think of like Moon Man from McDonald's or Conan O'Brien. Like,
A late night. What is it? Yeah, late night. Um,
yeah, no thanks.
he-
It's not. I think it's more of that than it's like than it being a dude.
well,
If that's okay for me to say.
yeah. Well, and Plastic Man, you talk about him like the horniness. To me, I feel like that would be he's like the dude that you'd be like, no, you're doing that. Like, I'm not really a big fan of that. And not
Oh, we got some. Yeah, I know what you're
yeah,
saying. Yeah,
like
yeah.
I've been in situations where they just move a little bit to the left, and you're like, I know what I'm doing. Like he seems like that kind of guy.
Yeah, yeah. I've definitely done this before.
Yeah. He definitely, yeah, he seems like the kind of person to be like, no. Like, again, no essay here, but like,
Yeah,
you're like, okay, all right, yeah, all right, okay,
yeah. I just think it just wouldn't work,
yeah.
man.
What would Mark?
And I think Morph and I, our comedic timing, I think, would be more on point. So if it was awkward, I think we've read a lot of Exiles.
You would both say awkward
Again,
at the same
we
time. Awkward.
yeah, I think it would be a lot of the same comedic timing. I think we would get, and that would break the ice more than. I'm not saying Plastic Man is like a yeah foaming at the mouth,
Yeah.
but I just think he's like a horny Master Roshi guy.
He's kind of like an
Uh,
anime horny, like you said, like
yeah, he's like Master Roshi. Master Roshi,
the guy that
in my
intentionally
offense,
falls in the boob,
yeah,
like in the butt.
yeah. In my defense, Master Roshi, I feel like is harmless, but when he sees a hot babe, his nose starts bleeding uncontrollably.
Mhm.
You know that he's like the anime horny dude, and I think Plastic Man falls in.
He's or like Chainsaw Man, whatever that guy is, Dingy or whatever on and Chainsaw Man.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
like
yeah,
extra horny.
yeah. It's extra horny, man, and I find myself attractive, but I just don't know if it would be like a mutual. If Plastic Man,
Second part of that question: if
yeah,
if they could turn into you, would you still do it?
like if that was the situation,
The situation is like
probably
they
not.
just marry
Probably
you.
not.
I probably would. Depends.
Probably not, man. I got a lot of. If we could go into like a therapy session, probably more apt to do that. But I have like a lot of like self-loathing things going on with
Sure.
myself, so I would probably like scream at myself for a few hours. And,
Hey,
like, I'd be more into a situation where I get to like beat myself up for for an hour.
that'd probably still be. I mean, it's still good for you, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it would be more of a like what are you doing with yourself, man?
Yeah.
More there would be no sort of sexual tension with myself. It would just be tension. So no, I wouldn't be able to pull it off.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And we talked about in the Patreon part of it, we talked about loving Power Rangers. I think this is an interesting question because while they're both ridiculous franchises, right?
Mhm.
And we love both of them, very different, right? Would you rather live in a world like a world where the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are protecting the world? Because I won't get into why. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are protecting the world, or a world that's protected by the Power Rangers. And I know that you know what I'm talking about, so I will just leave it to you to answer.
Oh, Power Rangers all day. And there's
Okay.
2 reasons for that. One,
Okay.
because they are wider than I know that the Ninja Turtles like go into different dimensions and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
Power Rangers are a little wider, more wide, but also
Mhm.
I would say the number one reason why I would rather have a world with the Power Rangers is because I could be a Power Ranger. I can't be a Ninja Turtle,
It's true. It's true.
but
You could be a Casey Jones if you were a psychopath.
yeah. I mean, I'm still a dude with what a hockey mask. Like, I want superpowers.
Yeah.
I want giant
Yeah.
robots.
That's a good
Um,
answer. Good answer.
So yeah, I mean that's kind of like not a lot of expounding on that one. Like it's pretty much Power Rangers because maybe I could be one day, and who knows how big the morph grid is. Like maybe I could be like, just
Yeah.
everybody can be one.
I like that. I didn't think about it like that. I didn't. My answer is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Not because I'm obsessed, partially probably, but it seems like in the realm of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, a lot of the bad stuff happens in New York.
Mhm.
I'm good with not going to New York.
Well, like
I've been there once.
everything, even fucking Marvel,
Pass.
New York, DC,
Yeah.
Gotham, basically.
Pass. I'm good with being here in Texas where nobody wants to be, right? I'm good. Also, the Ninja Turtles kind of like handle things. As a human in those worlds or in that world, you don't necessarily see all the turmoil and strife that they go through. They fight ninja that they're notoriously in the shadows. So like in the daytime, you're not really dealing with the consequences of these mutant underground turtles fighting this ninja society or Dimension X, where they go into Dimension X, or Dimension X is over here fighting at nighttime. I can like go to work, like live my life, go to bed at like 8:30, and I don't know who's fighting on the rooftops or in the sewers. It's sort of that like you don't know what's happening in the shadows type thing. Like if you don't think about it, it's
I
not
mean,
there, right?
I feel like that's every day.
Power exactly it is. It is. Power Rangers, there's no way to not notice it,
Yeah.
right? If we're being if we're taking the imaginary show and putting it in a real world lens, there's no way that it's not national news that a small suburbs in California had giant robot dinosaurs fighting giant monsters.
Mhm.
Like there's no way that's not national news and just like terrifying the nation. And there's also like in a realistic situation that these monsters are like, you know what? Fuck Angel Grove. I'm going to Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
I'm going to take that shit over. I'd like to see those teenagers from Angel Grove teleport over
Yeah.
to Dallas, Texas.
Where
Why?
is Angel Grove? I imagine it's in like Ohio.
I imagine it's in like Sacramento or some place like that.
I could see. Yeah, California makes sense.
Yeah. But like there's just it would be terrifying to be like at any given time a giant robot with intentions of good could step on my house.
Yeah, just on accident.
That was always my thing about the show is like if they could in G Gundam there was this thing where anytime they would fight it would set like a battle zone to where you couldn't
Yeah.
destroy the buildings or whatever, or if there was there would be empty buildings, right?
Mhm.
That was to me was like they need something in that. I guess kids don't give a shit about that, but me as an adult watching Power Rangers, I'm like, about all those people, man. What about all the casualties? We should write a comic book about all the people that are just like trying to survive while the Power Rangers are fighting giant monsters.
Yeah, like the buildings that are just being demolished.
Like a guy is just at his work or at his job, just like doing data analytics or something like monotonous, and he's just like, "Ah, man, I can't wait to get home. It's Friday. Me and the wife are going to the ball game." Crunch,
Squished.
and just like the whole people, like the whole set of cubicles in front of him, just get demolished by a giant robot.
Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah. So I picked Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles mainly because their whole stuff either is in space, other dimensions, or in New York. And I've been to New York, have no desire to ever go back.
Gross. It's just the worst when like your significant other is like, I've never been. It's like, it's not.
Oh, my wife, luckily, she was like, hey, so my friends want to go to New York. I know we were going to go together and we like plan this thing together. But do you think would you be upset if I went with them? And I was
Nope.
like, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Please.
Absolutely not. We went. Simon went with Simon.
Yeah. Had a good old time,
Back
man.
before Simon and I were friends. He hated me.
Yeah, we were on the border. I was like, yeah, see, I got black friends.
And I was like, I got white friends.
We were each other's like racial beards, you know.
Yeah, and that's why we have a podcast now. That should be our next podcast.
Racial beards. That's actually
really
such a good one. Yeah,
that's the brand. Or if we're really getting into the dredges of the culture
racial
war.
beards. It's like when you say
all right,
say something slightly fucked up, and you're like, right, but I got, you know, he's cool,
man. Okay, now this is a sidebar because I went into like I started like trying to put together our old comic book that we wrote, and then I saw some images that you drew of a comic called My Black Friends or something like that.
Oh,
and it was like that could all fall under that banner of like
I think
racial beards.
I think I only did like one My Black Friends. I wrote a whole script for a TV series, and I showed it to a friend, and that friend said, this could probably be no, she writes for TV, and she was like, this actually could be a pretty good show.
We got to bring it back.
I would definitely need like
it was like a week ago that this was like me last week because I've been sidebar drawing lately, and Simon and I have talked about putting out a web comic for Patreon and sort of like starting our creative comic journey. And so I wanted to repost the book that we did originally and sort of like use that as a jumping off point. And then I just like started seeing all these old Simon drawings. I was like, what is this? Why is this not a thing?
My Black.
And I feel like, hey, you would be okay. You don't get the pass, but My Black Friends could work if you and I are both writing.
Right. Yeah, I definitely need a writing partner. Yeah.
Yeah. That
shit happened. That's the thing that gives that a pass. Is that actually happened?
Yeah, and a lot of the germ stories that we might have him on as a guest writer or something, because a lot of those stories happen with either all three of us or you and him or you and I.
Yeah, because
that would be funny.
Anyway,
yeah, look out for that. That might be something we are working on, stuff like that. So that's a long way to answer my question.
Yeah.
And I think we have one Simon question.
It's fucking tangent episode, but that's great.
That's what our show is now.
Yeah. So this one is, I don't know, it's kind of silly. I have another one that's way more offensive that comes into like SA territory. It's like SA territory though. That's why I don't.
We'll answer it after we end this episode, and we'll ask it on the live.
Yeah, okay. So this last question, I feel like it's a legit question as far as anyone who thinks about like Superman or anything. So would you rather pick invincibility, so you have a normal lifespan, but you can't be killed by anything, or immortality, like you can't be killed by anything, also you live forever,
but like you can be hurt?
Yeah.
So like the invincibility, you can't be hurt, but like immortality, you can get you can get shot in the head and then like come back from it, so you can feel pain.
Yeah. And I don't even know if that's like Wolverine. I know that Wolverine's not immortal, but like I don't know if that's like you heal, because I mean you could be in vegetated state forever.
Oh, that sucks. That sucks.
Maybe you could, I don't know.
If that's the case, I'm going invincible.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really think about the logistics of immortality, because I feel like if you're immortal, then you probably you're kind of invincible at the same time. But I feel like invincibility, I'm thinking you cannot be hurt. In bulletproof skin, like you can't be hurt.
Anytime I think about immortality, I think about that movie with Bruce Willis and Goldie Hawn.
Yeah, that's Death Becomes Her. This is fantastic.
Death Becomes Her.
Goldie Hawn and
Love that movie.
What is her name? She was in Devil Wears Prada.
Meryl
That's
Streep.
it. That's it.
One of my top 10 favorite movies of
It's
all
so
time. I think of it like that. And like they're immortal, but they have to keep themselves alive. Like they have to keep themselves sort of like,
They need to do.
if they get shot, somebody has to fix them up. You
Yeah,
know what
they
I mean?
need to be they're essentially dead bodies that live forever. So they can rot.
Yeah. That's how I think of immortality. And in that case, I think of like, of course, I'd be invincible.
Death Becomes Her so good. And that French lady in that movie
It's such a good.
is sexy.
That is, I'm telling you, one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time. It's so good.
The Elixir of Life. It's so good.
It's such a good movie. If you haven't seen it, you're missing out. Definitely check it out. I'm going Invincible.
Yeah. I don't feel like it's underrated, but I don't feel like people.
I don't feel enough people talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty. I would also pick Invincible.
Now, if you're going Immortality where like you heal like Wolverine, maybe Immortality.
I don't know.
Because you have characters like Vandal Savage, you have characters like that do heal like that live forever.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's a weird thing because you know, people that you start to become sort of you would eventually become like a really bad person, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because you would have these relationships and that would become nothing to you.
Yeah. If you live forever, that's a blink of the eye.
Yeah, it would be nothing to you. And I feel like that's
at what
I wouldn't want to live that way.
Yeah. At what point would you just be so bored?
Yeah. I'm bored now. And I'm like
Right.
mid-30s.
Yeah.
Not saying I want to die, but also like I don't want to live forever.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree.
Now if I was like if I had Bruce Wayne's money and I was immortal, maybe. But like I'm just a dude. I don't want to pay bills forever.
I mean,
man.
you could be rich if you live forever because you would just like invest. Imagine having a CD for 100 years.
I'm not smart enough to do that though. You'd have to be smart and do that.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't want to like move just because this country is ending. Like there's a revolution.
And then like the logistics of like every couple 100 years have to like fake your identity and like that's just too much work for me.
Yeah,
man.
no, I agree. Yeah. It's
like, hey, my wife died, but I'm also, do you age? Because if you age, that's even worse.
You're like Shane Tsung in the first Mortal Kombat where you're like the oldest fuck dude.
Yeah. So you're super old and then then you reset after a certain amount of years.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of logistics. I'd rather just be invincible and then like die as a normal person.
Yeah. I agree.
That's me.
I agree.
I would love to hear everyone that's listening. I would love to hear your responses to these questions. Would you rather? And we're circling the drain now. It's been good talking to you. So
it's a long
trying to think of like, do I tell the audience that I'm wrapping the podcast up because I have to pee again, or do I say that's it?
Yeah,
we're done. We have nothing else to do.
The flushing that you hear at the end of this episode is the actual flushing that Lex will be doing.
Yeah, if I played that right now, I would pee my pants. Yeah, that's it for the show. I can't wait to, because I was thinking like the past couple episodes we've talked about sort of ongoing trending things, but I had made a list of like potential episode topics, and I was like doing some spring cleaning today, and I was like, I don't know what topic I could talk about, like what's going on right now, and I thought I don't even want to talk about what's going on. I don't really give a shit about what's going on right now. You know what I mean? Like when we talk, it's fine to like riff on it. But then it's like, let's just have fun, man.
Yeah.
Who would you rather like stoop? This doesn't mean anything. Yeah. It's just kind of funny.
Are you telling me there's 2 wars going on? I just watched that episode.
So, subscribe to the show wherever you listen and hit us up on social media. We would love to talk to you guys. Everyone that reaches out to us and tells us that we're listening to the show, I'm telling you, man, like that just makes my day. Mm-hmm. With the people that post about their Wednesday toast with toast, I mean, I show my wife and she's like, yeah, that's cool.
She's like, less of her soul leaves her body.
Yeah, what are you talking about? But I mean, it's just like, it really means a lot to me. I send it to Simon and hopefully he gets the sort of same dopamine hit from it.
Mm-mm.
So it's like, he doesn't send me.
Never happened.
But I love it. Keep it up. Let us know what you think about the episodes. If you guys want us to talk about anything, if you have an idea, please, we trust me, we will talk
Yeah,
about
we're
it.
running out of stuff already. So
Yeah, well, I'm scrambling, man. There's only so many things that we can talk about.
join the Patreon if you just want to hear us riff and talk dumb shit back and forth.
Yeah, this episode's gonna be like an hour. The Patreon episode would be like 2
Yeah.
2 hours.
Uh,
At least.
Also,
So definitely.
Simon Toast on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, and Wednesday Poll.
Oh, everywhere else. Yeah. All on the internet. So we'll see you guys next week. Thank you for listening. And, have a good one.